About to do a DNA swab.
So we getting this swab on, man. 33 years in the making.
I had anger built up inside me that I didn't know. It was like a survival technique. Pretty much at 16, my dad left my life. He denied me, chose his ex-wife over me. We were real close and I got sent back to my mom.
Paternity fraud is a real thing. What was it specifically that made you feel like there may be a doubt? Like, was there a specific thing that occurred or?
Well, I think that at one point I met this guy.
If the results come out and you are the biological dad, is there going to be any part of you that is going to feel bad about kind of what happened at 16 when he was 16? If it turns out that you're not his biological dad, how will you feel then?
What's up, YouTube? So guys, I'm back in the gym with Katie, back on the meal plan with Chef Said, and back in the streets full time. So it's time to get back to the content.
What's up, YouTube? Atlanta Street Interviews out here with an update, guys. So guys, this is TOOTALL's dad, all right? TOOTALL is right here. All right, we got him right here, but this is dad. This is Charles Wells III. All right, now back in the day, did they call you Trey?
No.
No, you was never Trey?
Never Trey.
Oh man, my best friend was a third and we called him Trey growing up, so because the third. All right, so nice to meet you, man.
Pleasure to meet you.
All right. So I was just explaining to you that, you know, I'm a YouTuber and I ran into your son. He had an amazing story. Part of the story is that he had doubts about his paternity. And it happened to him, sounds like around 16 years old. And yeah, you said that at some point you was living with your dad.
Yup.
And then he denied you, is that what you said?
Yeah, he pretty much chose his ex-wife. He was living off his ex-wife, you know, he needed her. And she didn't like me because she didn't like my mom. So she got into his head that I wasn't his son. So she came downstairs, he came downstairs, had his whole head down the whole time while she spoke and said, you got to move back with your mom. You know, that's not your father, so you ain't gonna be able to come live with us anymore, and dad's gonna be out your life.
So did y'all ever do a DNA test?
No, because...
Is he still living?
Yes, he is.
Okay, go ahead. No, because what?
Because my dad wanted my mom to get the DNA test, and my mom said she's not paying $200 because she know he's the father. So he was like, he's not paying either. So we just left it alone.
Do you look like him?
I do.
Is he tall?
6'4". My mom's 6'2".
So from your perspective, right? Like what happened? How did he come to have doubts about his paternity?
Well, I guess questionable circumstances between me and his mother.
Right.
Situations arose and questions came about, and that's where the skepticism came in.
Okay. Did it happen like around when he was 16, or did it happen way before that and you just kind of didn't really say nothing about it?
There were, you know, I was skeptical before the age of 16.
Okay.
But I guess I wasn't in a mad rush to get to the
conclusion about it.
So I just, you know, took it day by day and tried to you know, spend as much time as I could with it, regardless of what doubts you had and this and that.
Right.
Yeah, I talked to his mom. Okay. So we got mom in the car. How you doing, mom? You want to come out real quick? Let's see this 6'2" queen. I remember the heights from the video because the dad was 6'4" and the mom 6'2". Now I'm gonna ask you straight up, mom. Now, this ain't gonna be one of those situations where we do it and it's like a shocker and it becomes one of my viral videos, right?
No Maury show.
No Maury. We ain't gonna no Maury, no Jerry Springer, none of that stuff, right? All right. Lovely lady, or whatnot. And so I guess because I think that this is such a powerful discussion for us to have, especially, you know, these things, like, you guys are just a microcosm, right? This type of stuff happens all the time. And we know that 30% of paternity cases end up being that the baby's not theirs. You know what I'm saying? So paternity fraud is a real thing. What was it specifically that made you feel like there may be a doubt? Like, was there a specific thing that occurred or?
Well, I think that at one point I met this guy.
If I ask the dad, like, hey, what reason do you have for denying his paternity? Is he gonna tell me, like, hey, you know, she was cheating, she was dealing with another dude?
That I thought was, you know, was having an affair with
his mom.
His mom. And the physical resemblance was striking to me, and that gave me a lot of concern.
Yeah, you know, when you ended up kind of, you know, revealing to him your paternity doubts when he was 16, I think he said he was still like 5'9" at that point. So he was still like a shorter guy, right? What did you think when you turned around and then he was 6'8"?
Well, the gentleman that I think that maybe his
biological dad.
Yeah, he's a very tall guy.
Is he?
Yeah, he's a very tall guy, and that opened up a lot of doubt when I realized how tall Charles was getting.
Wow.
And like I said, the physical.
So that just kind of furthered the doubt.
Yes, it furthered the doubt because, in my opinion, the older he got, the less he looked like me, and the more he looked like
the other guy.
Other guy.
When did you find out that she was having an affair with the other guy? Like, how old was he when you found that out? Was he still like a young boy? Was he like a teenager or a preteen type deal? Like, when you found that out, how old was he?
Well, when I first saw the guy, I think I don't think Charles was even born then. You know, I don't think he was even born then. I can't remember exactly, but I was working at the time, and his mother and I was together, living together.
Wow, okay.
And she wasn't working. So
you go off to work, and the milkman comes and drop off a little bit of milk.
Yeah, that's what, in my opinion, that's what I felt like was happening.
Okay, because I asked his mom about it, and I asked her like 2 or 3 times, right? And, you know, to the point where I didn't want to piss her off or piss him off, but I had to ask. I was like, look now, is this going to be one of those situations where it comes back and you're swearing up and down that there's no possibility of somebody else? So let me ask you this. What made you feel like, in other words, did you get proof that she was cheating with this guy? Or was it just pure speculation?
Pure speculation and just a gut feeling, and after seeing the other guy,
right,
remembering his physical
features,
stature,
right,
features
yeah.
Then you know, watching Charles grow up and watching, you know, him resemble the guy more and more. So
how did that make you feel? Like, how did you feel over time? Like, because, you know, I can tell you as a man, right? I will admit that I had questions about one of my kids, right? And I didn't necessarily go get a DNA test right away. And so I know how I felt during those years where there was uncertainty. How did you feel?
Well, it hurt because I taught Charles how to play football. You know, his first Little League games, you know, I was there. I coached him.
Yeah.
And taught him how to catch a football, tackle. And held him. You know, I watched him come into this world.
Yeah.
So the bond was there. The love and the bond was there. So as time went on, the more questions came into my mind, the more painful it became. So it was a painful thing. To be honest with you, it was a painful experience having that doubt in my mind.
You know.
Excellent.
Yeah. No, but in any time you want, by the way.
I had mentioned, well, in the interview, I had mentioned that I felt like the main reason was because of Shirley. You know, me and Shirley, we did not have the closest bond, you know, and, you know, we just did not get along. I don't know,
So I mean, you can kind of clear that up for him right now, right? Because he feels like your ex-wife is who pressed the issue during that time. Does he have any? Is he like kind of right on that?
Yeah, he has a point. He has a point there. They did not have a good relationship. She pretty much encouraged me to take a good second hard look, because we took Charles in.
Right. And he was with y'all, living with y'all.
Living with us and everything. And I personally was hoping and wishing that everything would work out.
Mm-hmm.
We got him a job. I don't know if you remember. We got him a job at Kroger. Yeah, and we put him in. We had him in this real nice high school, one of the best high schools in Cobb County. So we were preparing and hoping for the best.
Mm-hmm.
But I think as time went on, and as Shirley became more involved with Charles,
right,
then she began to encourage me to look further and to make sure that
that it was what it was.
Yeah. So,
but I guess my thing is, right, why didn't Shirley encourage you to get a DNA test?
Well, that's a good question. I kind of drug my feet on that. I fought myself for that.
Well, did she encourage you to do it, or did she just wanted you to take a good look at it and take a double look, but not necessarily encourage the DNA test?
I don't remember her encouraging me to get a DNA test specifically.
Mm-hmm.
But she did express her doubts.
I could dig it.
I remember when she had mentioned that, she was just like, because you and your dad act nothing alike. Y'all have none of the same characteristics, you know. And part of that she got that from is because she always thought I was lying. Like when I was little, I used to always get the migraines after school, and then we used to have to go to the grocery store, and I wanted to sit in the car. And she thought I had an attitude because I had a headache. I just wanted to go home. And she would come down and be like, "You didn't have a headache. I know you didn't. You just was upset because I was like, I did have a headache." She knew you did. No, you did. I did. How you gonna tell me?
One of the worst things
all the time, and I couldn't stand it. How you gonna tell me?
One of the most traumatizing things for a lot of kids that grow up into being adults is that they have truths that they're telling adults, and the adult doesn't believe them. And when you're the adult that has authority over a kid, that's traumatizing for a kid, because then it's like, okay, well, should I tell people the truth? Should I tell people this stuff? Because look at what happened when I told the truth this time. They didn't believe me. So I could see where even now at the age of 33, that still is at the forefront of your head. That's called trauma, believe it or not. Okay, so, all right. So I do want to ask, right? So, you know, we got these swabs. If the results come back and you are the biological dad, is there, and let out whatever you got to let out, man. If the results come out and you are the biological dad, is there going to be any part of you that is going to feel bad about kind of what happened at 16 when he was 16?
I would feel bad about what happened between him and Shirley, but as far as, you know, finding out I'm his biological father,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'll feel more happiness than anything.
Right.
I won't have any regrets, you know.
But will you feel like you kind of cause maybe some undue trauma in his life if in fact you are the biological dad? And it's like at 16, which, you know, it's a crucial age for young men, right? And if he's hearing and learning that the man that he's called dad, that he thought was his dad, his own dad is sitting here with his ex-wife telling him that he's not actually his paternal dad. And can you imagine the pain and trauma that may have caused, right? And so if it turns out that you was wrong about that, you're not going to feel like a little bit bad?
Yes, I will.
Like, right?
Yeah, honestly, I will.
Yeah, you know, just because it'd be like, damn, like I messed that up, you know?
Right.
I get it.
I will. I definitely will.
Okay. If it turns out that you're not his biological dad, how will you feel then?
Well, it'll be. I don't know. I won't be happy or anything like that. I think I'll be disappointed
kind of a mix of emotions, a
Yeah.
little bit of disappointment, maybe a little bit of just kind of somewhat vindication, you know, kind of knowing that, you know, your gut was telling you the right thing type deal.
Yeah, I guess that's a good way of putting it. You know, I would hope that Charles would feel vindicated and at peace and free.
Well, I think that either way he's going to feel, at least he's going to have some clarity. So whether he's happy, sad, or anywhere in between, the clarity is the main thing, right?
That's a good word.
And so I guess, you know, you guys have this bond, right? And I hear, and, you know, I'm sorry to hear that you're suffering from cancer right now. So, you know, life is short, man. Like, you know, the people that you have a bond with is your family. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Blood be damned.
Right.
All right? There's people I share blood with that they can't come in my house. Okay? And then there's people that, you know, I meet on the street that I let in my house freely.
Gotcha.
Okay? So, you know, I would just hope that no matter what the results are, obviously there's going to be mixed feelings, but that you guys continue to keep a strong bond. And, you know, it's good to have people, especially when you're going through things like this. It's just good to have people,
Right.
you know,
I agree.
people that care about you and want to see you pull through.
Right.
So
Exactly.
how is your cancer journey going, by the way? Is like, you know,
So far, so good. I've had my first chemo infusion treatment
okay.
last week,
Mm.
and this first of 5 cycles,
Mm.
as they call it, infusion cycles. The first cycle, so far, so good. Minimal side effects. So, if the next 4 cycles is anything like this first cycle,
Then you're going to beat this thing.
then then I think
You
I'll
goddamn right.
come out on top.
That's right. That's right, man. I'm pulling for you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, I'm
Appreciate
pulling
it.
for you, man. Cancer runs in my family, so I know how devastating it is to get that cancer diagnosis.
Right.
But I also know that you can beat it.
Amen.
All right?
All right.
All right, so Charles, we met 2 years ago, over 2 years ago. All right, and I wanted to do a DNA test right then and there, as soon as you told me the story, but in God's timing. So here we are. What would your thoughts be if he is your biological dad?
Whew, I'll be excited, you know, I'll be relieved, and you know, I'll just look forward. I'll press forward. You know, I won't look too much in the past. The past is the past. I'll look forward to the future. You know, I feel it in my spirit that he is.
Okay. So now, what if he's not?
I wouldn't be surprised, but I'd be very disappointed. You know, I wouldn't be disappointed at my mom because I know how women are. You know, it's just how it is. But I'd just be disappointed because I don't know. I wouldn't know where to go from there. You know, I
Kind of feel like a
weird.
sense of
now I
like
gotta,
loss.
you know,
Now I don't know who my daddy like. Now I gotta find this some other guy.
I don't even think
Whatever.
I would even want to. You know, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think I'll just
Some mystery guy. Do you know who this mystery guy is? Like, did you ever see him again or come across him again or anything like that?
No, I never seen him again. I just
Okay.
happened to see him at one time, and you know.
Did she ever confess to cheating on you, his mom?
No. She never confessed.
Okay.
She never confessed. You know, to be honest with you, just to be frank, like I was saying, I was working and she wasn't working.
Mm-hmm.
So the time that I did see him, it appeared to me he was headed.
He was headed to the house.
Yeah.
He was clocking in. You was about to clock in. He was too. He was about to clock in, put in some work real quick. I'm telling you, man, these women are treacherous, man.
So he saw me.
You know what I'm saying? You just trying to work hard. You just trying to be a hard-working man. You trying to have a family. Man, I swear to God, I hope you the biological dad. Because if not, it just goes to prove how treacherous these women are. Because his mom seems like the nicest, sweetest lady.
Yeah.
She's so nice and sweet. You would never think that she would do anything like that. That's wild. So we'll see. We're not going to put the cart in front of the horse. So we're going to see. So, you know, I'm going to send this off tonight. And hopefully we should get the results back. It'll say Tuesday, maybe back by Friday. Right? Because he's taking off for Utah on Monday. Are you, how long are you planning on being in Utah? Is it a one-way flight?
I feel like once I get there, God will tell me further instructions and let me know.
I get it,
how
man.
much
Let
to
God
go.
order your steps,
But
man.
I feel like, you know, I just have to take that step of faith and just go out there and see.
Okay, and so you don't know anybody out there. You don't know nothing about no Utah. You about to be this tall 6'8" black guy in a land full of white people. Okay? I almost wish that I could go film this, because this is gonna be good stuff. Okay? Like, you're gonna end up in like some cult with like you're the leader and a bunch of like white ladies around you. This is gonna be wild, man. I can't wait to see this, man. This
Back in my day, you know, I would have been. Yeah.
We was just talking about those college days, man. Those college days be something else for us guys, man. Us guys, but we be having all the juice there in college, you know. So, all right, well, listen, man. I am so glad that I got a chance to meet you. Your energy is great. I'm looking forward to these results. And listen, man, we just wish you nothing but the best. All right.
All right.
Hey, make sure you have a good one. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes,
You too.
sir.
You too.
All right.